feel bad, because everyone just kind of judges her and splatters her business everywhere. And, no one really goes, why is this happening? They just judge and judge and judge.
We all have our own journey. You always feel sorry for them, and you always hate it when they have to be so thrown out there and so exposed. But I would imagine that life is very, very hard.
She has been on top of the world and on top of the charts, and she has publicly fallen apart at the seams. From the age of 12, Britney Spears lived her life in the spotlight. As she grew up and her public image began to unravel, there were many media commentators, mental health experts, and fans sympathizing and trying to dissect the reason for her collapse. Together, they all wanted to work out what was going wrong in her world. Although Britney Jean Spears was marketed as the sweet as apple pie American girl next door, her childhood wasn't as wholesome as is sometimes made out. Her father, James, who now famously controls her assets, once struggled to take control of his own life when he battled an alcohol addiction. Spears' mother, Lynn, the daughter of a Baptist preacher, focused on her talented daughter and was determined for her to succeed. By the age of 3, Britney was enrolled in choir, dance, and gymnastics lessons, and by 6, she'd won Miss Talent Central States. At 8 years old, she entered New York's Professional Performing Arts Academy, and at 11, she received a place on Disney's The All-New Mickey Mouse Club. The children's variety show was well known for making stars, and fellow Mouseketeers included the now famous Christina Aguilera and Justin Timberlake.
She basically started out very young in a very competitive business. As a child in the Mickey Mouse Club, through pop stardom, and it's just been a lot of pressure for her. And she's basically been a young child still in an adult's body.
Growing up with such adoration at such a young age has been cited for Britney's difficulties in later life.
There's actually a theory that when a lot of young stars start out and really hit it big, that they kind of get frozen in the age that they're at when they first hit it big, and that's what happens. They suddenly run out of control.
For Britney Spears, that age would have been her late teens, when her single, Baby One More Time, reached #1 on the Billboard charts and sold over 1.45 million records. Her album of the same name also hit #1 and sold like hotcakes. When she followed it up in 2000 with the album Oops, I Did It Again, record producers were thankfully saying the same thing when she again debuted at #1 and sold over 10 million records. During this time, Spears was also dating fellow teen star Justin Timberlake. Their 4-year relationship seemed to be made in celebrity heaven. In 2004, the pair ended their relationship. But it wasn't long before Spears found love again with backup dancer Kevin Federline. They announced their engagement in July 2004 and were married in September. However, their passion didn't last, and it wasn't long before the Spears-Federline marriage was on the rocks. It seemed that neither of them had settled down after having children, and the relationship was strained. In November 2006, after giving birth to 2 sons, Britney Spears sent K-Fed a text message telling him she wanted a divorce. According to his lawyers, Federline was genuinely shocked by the announcement. He claimed that he loved his wife, that she inspired him, and he could not understand why she did not want to be with him anymore. The Spears-Federline divorce was enormous entertainment news. A quiet day at the courthouse involved 6 television trucks, 24 media, and helicopters in the sky hoping to catch a glimpse of the famous or infamous plaintiff. No doubt the constant attention, feeling hounded by the paparazzi, and still having to deal with a broken heart and 2 young sons contributed to Britney's spiraling out of control. As part of the divorce, Spears sought custody of their 2 children with visitation rights for Federline. However, Federline responded, also seeking physical and legal custody. Rumors abounded that Kevin's custody battle had more to do with money than with any parental inclination. Kevin Federline's lawyers were happy to point to Britney's bad behavior as a reason not to have custody of her children.
Our client was prepared to testify on issues of nudity by Ms. Spears, drug use, and safety issues involving the children post-rehab.
In March 2007, the couple reached a global settlement, but the bitter custody battle continued.
The girl has no peace. She is constantly in the news. She can't do anything. She can't go anywhere without people just hounding her. And this has got to take a terrible toll.
The beginning of 2008 was marred by her losing custody of her children, failing to take drug and alcohol tests, and being placed under involuntary psychiatric hold.
A lot of people are speculating that it could be over for her career, but the interesting thing about Britney Spears is just when they count her out, she comes back. She's a perfect example of American society bringing them down just to bring them back again. We love the up and down, the saga of being on top and then being on the very bottom and then rehabilitating yourself and getting better again. But there's no way to say, because they've said many times before, this is the last time, this is it, she's down for the count. And then it looks like she's coming back again, and then she's down again. So we'll have to see what happens. It depends on how committed she is to rehabilitating herself and starting up again with a new career and a new face and a new Britney.
It is true that Britney Spears has seen all that fame has to give: fortune, adoring fans, and popularity. But she has also seen fame's dark underbelly: stalking paparazzi, induced paranoia, and an inability to escape. Britney Spears has been through the breadth of relationship issues: falling in love, out of love, being married, divorced. She has become a mother only to have her children taken away from her. In an act of defiance, she has shaved her head after checking out of rehab. There have been ups and downs in her world. But hopefully for Britney Spears, with all she has been through and learned, the road ahead is beginning to look bright.